A look at the latest forecast and road conditions. Texas declares a state of emergency for every county in the Lone Star State. And the United Arab Emirates releases a stunning close-up image of Mars.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Snowy roads and actual temperatures dipping below zero. Certainly not conditions you want to spend any amount of time outside with. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Our own Michael Hayslip has been in the KOAM Weather Center since the wee hours of the morning tracking this forecast and joins us now with the latest.
Tanya, I want to reiterate what you just said when we talk about how dangerous it is outside. Go back to last week when we were talking about the threat of exposed skin. Being outside half an hour, you know, could have caused some problems. But now we're to the point where it could be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. That's how cold we are right now. And here's the thing, it's double barrel action. Not only the extreme cold, but we've had the snow move in from the southern portion of the 4 states, leading to not only winter storm warnings, but check out the wind chill warnings as well. They stretch actually from South Texas all the way up to the Canadian border. The best thing to do, honestly, is to stay inside, not only for today, but we're going to ride this all the way into the end of the week. These are actual temperatures. These are not wind chill numbers. These are actual temperatures as we sit right at zero, if not a couple degrees below. From the Freeman Health System sky camera right now, how about a wind chill of minus 23? Earlier this morning, we saw as low as minus 30. And really, at what point in time does your body not know the difference? Minus 20 right now in Pittsburgh, minus 14 in Anderson. Let's go 18 below in Chautauqua as far as what it feels like. As we reset the Skywatch storm tracker, want to point out some heavier snow coming down throughout southwest Missouri, little break in the central portion, but we've still got plenty left down here in the south throughout northeast Oklahoma that will continue to make its way from south to north throughout the course of the day. And that just piles on to the 4 to 7 inches that we got from Friday all the way to Sunday. National perspective shows you. That's why we call it the polar vortex, as this thing just digs down to the south. And on top of that, it's the collision course with the Gulf moisture that shows up and gives us that big band of snow that we've been right in the middle of for the past several days. Don't look for any help for this afternoon. We're only going to see positive numbers, but that wind chill going to sit in the teens if we're lucky. Now, as the snow moves off to the east for Monday, we get a little bit of a break on Tuesday. It'd be nice if we were out of the fray. Not the case. By the time we work into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, we've got additional snowfall coming. So the big question is, when's the last time we saw temperatures this cold? Tanya, here in just a little bit, we'll do a historical breakdown and a look at this record-setting week we've had in the middle of February.
That's right. Thank you so much, Michael. Well, the best advice is to stay home today if you can. But if you do have to get out, we want you to stay as safe as possible. And KOAM's Jacob Leonard joins us with a first-hand look at our current road conditions. Jacob?
Well, guys, I can tell you that everything Hayslip just told you, I can confirm that right now. It's definitely cold out here, and the wind is not doing us any favors. We're here at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. As you can see, there are people out, but you can also see the snow is coming down still. And the roads are still pretty slick. Now, to break it down for you, I came from Pittsburgh. I traveled south of Pittsburgh on 69 to 66 to 7th Street here. Now, the main highways in between towns, weren't that bad, but it really got slick once you got into those residential areas and into the city limits. Once you got outside of town, it kind of cleared up. But once you got into town, when I pulled into town here on 7th Street, we did see multiple crews out trying to clear the roads, but it really was slick. Even the main roads, even 7th Street, even Range Line, and especially at the intersections there, 7th and St. Louis, 7th and Maiden Lane. If you had to stop, it was kind of hard to get going at those intersections. So the roads still definitely slick in those spots where the snow has been packed down and, kind of gotten really slick. So Ty Parks, our chief photog here, drove through town earlier, and he said, those side roads are also slick. So it's even the main roads. There are still crews out here working right now. We passed multiple crews once we got into town. But once again, the snow's still coming down. The traffic's still out. That snow is still getting packed into the ground. The intersections, even the main roads here, are still pretty slick. So, it's going to be reiterated to you plenty of times throughout the news today. And really, it has been for different reasons for the last year. But if you can, it's not a great time to be outside. So do stay indoors, do stay warm, and do the best you can. And one final note here for you, Tanya. I know people are mostly used to hearing me talk sports on here. We are obviously not doing that this evening because there are no games, but maybe we'll get back out to that tomorrow. But for right now, the best idea is to stay in, stay warm, and do your best not to be out here on these roads right now.
And Jacob, you're a great example. If you do have to be out, you've got the gloves on, you've got a hat on, you've got your mask on to keep your face warm, and you've got something around your neck. You're protecting yourself as best as you can, but again, keep that under 15 minutes.
This
if you're gonna be
mask comes in
outside.
handy.
All right, Jacob, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for that.
This mask comes in handy, and I'm wearing 3 shirts.
Stay warm, and we'll check in with you tonight at 5 and 6. All right. This massive winter storm is cutting a treacherous and freezing path across much of the country. Texas is now in a state of emergency after some areas saw their first snowfall in years and the coldest temperatures in decades. And that system is moving into the Midwest and Northeast, affecting more than 2/3 of Americans. Maria Villarreal joins us from Oklahoma City, where the governor has activated the National Guard.
From this fiery wreck in Oklahoma to whiteout conditions in Arkansas and down to Texas. An unparalleled winter storm targeting southern states unused to a powerful mix of snow, ice, and below freezing temperatures. Cars and trucks providing no match for roads and interstates blanketed with sheets of ice, sending vehicles careening out of control. In Texas, for the first time, all 254 counties in the state are under winter storm warnings. The Lone Star State hasn't seen temperatures like this in over 30 years.
Our roads, no matter how much we salt them, are not designed for it.
Oklahoma also making history with temperatures below 20 degrees for 5 days straight, the third time ever in the state's history. For Suzanne Markingo, driving on these roads for work can be a life or death decision.
Every time you take that key and you start it up, you take your life in your own hands, and you take the public's life in their hands too.
The same storm left at least 200,000 without power over the weekend in the Pacific Northwest. The 2-day snowfall was the most seen in Seattle in almost 40 years, leaving some residents digging themselves out of more than a foot of snow.
The temperature gauge was reading -6 this morning, but with the wind chill, it feels more like it is -25 here, and it is unlikely that these conditions will get any better. In fact, right now they are predicting that we will see freezing temperatures, records that they haven't seen here in over 100 years. Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, Oklahoma City.
U.S. Senate voted Saturday to acquit President Trump of inciting the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The 57-43 vote fell short of the 2/3 majority needed to convict. Now lawmakers are looking at a new way to investigate the January 6th assault on the Capitol. Lawmakers have already tasked retired Lieutenant General Russell Honorer to conduct a security review of the U.S. Capitol. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, the first Arab country reaches the red planet's orbit. We'll show you what they found. And later, we're making presidential peanut muffins in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. A new photo from out of this world shows a spectacular view of Mars as an Arab country reaches the red planet's orbit for the first time. CBS's Tina Kraus has more.
Celebrations broke out at Mission Control in Dubai as a spacecraft from the United Arab Emirates swung into orbit around Mars after a 300 million mile journey that took 7 months. And this was a view worth waiting for. The probe, named Hope, captured an image 15,000 miles above the Martian surface. You can make out the largest volcano in the solar system.
I'm truly looking forward to the scientific discoveries.
The first ever Arab mission is designed to reveal the secrets of Martian weather, but the UAE also hopes to inspire young people.
I truly hope this mission will impact an entire generation to strive to things that are even bigger.
Arriving at Mars is a huge leap for the Arab country. Until now, the nation has only sent satellites into orbit around Earth. To mark the historic mission, the UAE even gave visitors a Martian stamp in their passport. Hope will circle the red planet for the next 2 years. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
President's Day, and we're celebrating with a few presidential favorites. Any guesses as to what we're making?
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Kind of been calling it a double barrel Monday because we started off with a dangerous cold that's going to persist all the way through the end of the week. And just in time for that, a little additional snowfall on top of what we got over the weekend. Anywhere from about 3 to 6 inches is what we had from really Saturday all the way into early this morning. And now we're going to throw on another 1/4 to 1/2 an inch upon that. And that's why, don't worry about the winter weather advisories in purple. Let's talk about winter storm warnings that we still have for our counties indicated in white, lasting all the way until 6 o'clock tonight as the snow progresses from south to north. And on top of that, those pink counties, and also too, just because you're in the winter storm warning, please know you're also part of the wind chill warning as well, as those stretch really from the Mexican border all the way up to the Canadian border. We find ourselves right in the heart of it. Our temperatures not going to increase at all throughout the course of the afternoon as our wind chills are just unbelievably low. We're talking about -30 is what we saw earlier this morning. So let's talk about the old weather almanac here. How cold has it been? This was the common question over the weekend. When's the last time that we had a span like this? Well, I ask you this question: how cold is your cold? Because we are in the midst of a record-setting 3-day span that hasn't been seen in decades, if not more than a century. Let's start with Joplin breaking record lows from Valentine's Day at -1. Previous record low was 9 in 1986. Yesterday, -4, 1986. Chanute timed Valentine's Day with a -2. And then today, a -6. So we're just blowing records out of the water. Now, look at this. We're not done. This is why it's a 3-day span. Tomorrow's forecast low of -11 will shatter those previous lows in both locations, and that dates back to 1903 at Joplin Regional. All right, so, oh, wait, it's like an infomercial. There's more. It's called the low max. Now consider this. It's the coolest high that we see in a single day. Well, Joplin and Chanute set records of 5 degrees and 6 degrees on Valentine's Day. That's as warm as it got. And today, we're going to set another record as our highs at each location as we sit right now are -2 and -3. And here's why we're going to set those records. That's about 20 degrees above away from the old records. So like we're blowing that out of the water as well. Now tomorrow's lowest max records are 10 degrees in Joplin, dating back to 1903 once again, and 9 degrees in Chanute that goes back to 1979. We could be setting about 6 records as far as our lowest temperature and our lowest max in 3 consecutive days. Reset the Skywatch Storm Tracker, give you an idea of the heavier snow moving through southwest Missouri right there. We get just a little bubble of a dry slot, but that's going to be short-lived. And when we talk about the multiple storm reports, that's where we're just piling on the 3 to 6 inches that we had over the weekend, probably at least another 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch for today as everything will progress on the other side of the Mississippi. But the cold is not going anywhere. Single-digit highs is all we'll see for today. And as we push into tomorrow, light flurries will persist into Tuesday morning. And what's going to happen after it cools off and dries out? Not quite done. The polar vortex with the colder temperatures as it drops down to the south collides once again with Gulf moisture just in time for Wednesday, providing us with additional snowfall for early Wednesday morning, once again hampering our travel. That's why, bottom of your screen, not only the list of closings, but remember, KOAMnewsnow.com as your complete list of road conditions. Also, too, the old QR code. Grab your phone right now and all you have to do is stroll up to your TV screen and take a picture of the code that you're going to see on the right-hand portion of your screen. And that's going to take you straight to the Skywatch weather app that we consistently update with all your watches and warnings. There it is right there. And like I said, it's as simple as taking a picture with your phone. It's downloadable for all your mobile devices. It is absolutely free. It's going to get us through this freezing, historic stretch of cold weather and also prepare us for severe weather season this spring.
All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Petty Officer Second Class Charles Block in the United States Navy. He served in Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 and 2005. Petty Officer Block earned the Navy Achievement Medal, the Navy Unit Commendation Ribbon, and the Meritorious Unit Award. A native of Parsons, Kansas, we salute you, Charles Block, our four-state hero. Today's muffin recipe is worth the presidential seal of approval. They're crazy moist and topped with a nutty streusel mixture that makes them addictively good. Howard shows us how to make his presidential peanut muffins in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Schools are closed today, government offices are shut down, and if you were thinking of going to the bank, think again. It's President's Day, which means today we're celebrating U.S. presidents, both past and present. Since you might have a little extra time on your hands, what do you say we whip up a presidential favorite? Before we do, did you know that one of President John F. Kennedy's favorite foods was a steaming bowl of clam chowder? And who would have ever guessed that FDR loved an ooey gooey grilled cheese sandwich? Today, we're baking a Southern-style muffin that we think our 39th President Jimmy Carter would love. After making a super moist peanut butter batter, we spoon it into muffin cups. Then, to take them over the top, we finish them with a nutty streusel topping, and into the oven they go. Let me tell you, these muffins are worth a presidential seal of approval. They're that good. On top, you have an addictively good buttery crumb topping, and on the inside, the muffins are crazy moist. To get the recipe for our presidential peanut muffins, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a perfectly presidential way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Looks tasty. Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Snow persisting throughout the course of our Monday afternoon, tapered off by the evening hours. Stay inside. It's too dangerously cold, and that'll persist all the way through the end of the week until we get a melt for the weekend. Now, over to Down with a look at what's coming up tonight at 5.
At 5, even in the midst of the pandemic, love was in the air this Valentine's Day. After a year of social isolation, singles are refocusing their efforts on finding romance. We're going to look at the surge in online dating. Plus, we'll check in on the latest four-state driving conditions and the latest update on power outages from Liberty Utilities. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
And thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.